Well, I've been saying for a long time that my rollback needs some rear brakes, and I can't wait any longer. I'm going to have to replace them because I blew a caliper on this side, which I knew they were bad, getting bad, and it would be a problem. And it is, so that's where we're at. I got cribbing underneath each side of the axle. I got the front wheels chalked. I did this too, just a little extra precaution here. So let's get these wheels off, get the hubs off, and start this little fiasco. It's supposed to be pretty decent today. I may need to replace this exhaust again. I think it's starting to get a little loud up here somewhere. I'm not sure where. It's probably in this, because we put a band clamp over a hole that was starting not long ago. We'll see. Again, I really don't want to do this to this truck. The only reason I'm doing this is because I need the truck to be safe and usable. And when I do decide to take it apart, I'll use the front and rear axle for something else, the transmission and motor for something else, and the bed on something else. So let's get to it. Well, there's no excuse for this. I should have never let this go. I was using this thing sparingly, thinking I was taking it apart. I should have known better. I should have just taken care of it, but we ground into it too far, and it actually split. These fins are broken. This is going to be a problem. This one came loose, one so far, but yeah. And this is going to be a problem. I don't know if it's a good time to call it quits on this truck, or I don't know. Let's get it apart and let's see. That one's rounded off and won't come loose, but I was able to get these other three out. So there's no guide pins or anything in here, so I'm going to try and just bring this up and see if it'll break it loose, at least somewhat. Yeah, it's turning. There we go. All right. Now that it's loose, I should be able to get that out of there now. That is completely unacceptable. So next we got to get the hub off. We got to get the axle out, and then there's a nut behind here we got to take off, and this whole assembly will come off. Two came out as studs, or with the stud came out with the nut, I should say. One was a stud, one was a bolt. You see them right there. Get this off, and then we got to pop this loose here. It's really pretty easy. Next you'll see these bend over tabs here. We need to take them from this way. They're holding it, they're standing up this way. We got to bend them back, and then we can take these two nuts loose. I'll tell you, that's barely bent. I don't know if that was actually holding anything. And somebody's had a chisel in here before. Look at that. That's not even tight. When we put it back together, we'll use a socket. A lot of times you can take this and turn the rope and let it move the nut. And there's why studs stay in here. You see how it's pouring all the gear oil out of here. Normally that's a bad thing. Today that's a good thing. It's going to drain all that oil that's in that hub, make a little bit less of a mess. So this is a jam nut on the outside. It's supposed to be torqued to a spec. It does not set your bearing preload. This is the lock washer. It goes in between it, and let's see if I can do this where you can see this. Because it wasn't tight, you see that shimmer of metal? That's from this moving against the back of this, which you can see the shimmer of metal here because it wasn't tight. So again, Hack Nation, it's a real thing. Now we'll see what this one, I see metal on the inner jam nut or inner nut. This is one that sets the bearing preload. how much tension is on the inner and outer bearing and how much play it has, which we usually set somewhere around 5-6 thousandths, I think, because you need a little bit of give, because everything as it heats up expands, so you need a little bit more. Right there on that finger. It's on the bearing too. You see it on there? All those metal flakes? Look here. All these bearings are coming apart. That's pretty rough. Okay. Now the only thing holding that is the back bearing is back here and the seal. So we have to pop that loose, but and once we do, it'll let a little bit more gear oil drain out of here. So we got a lot of cleaning to do. So see, we got all these bolts here. These are like, I don't know, 13/16 maybe. We'll take all them loose and the whole rotor comes off. And then we have just the hub to deal with. So here is a standard impact socket. Here's a chrome. You see the difference in the sidewall. That's what I need to be able to get enough clearance to get these out of here. Man, look how rusty that hub is. I have to clean this up, see if it's usable or if it's too thin. The inner bearing's better. Doesn't mean it's great, but it's better. Sometimes we pop that seal out. I'll just put the hub back in the wheel or the drum or whatever you have and pop it out. That way it holds it in place. Yeah. Get a rag. Started to wipe it down, but I wanted to show you that ring of metal right there. That's metal. Look how bad that is. Anyways. Okay, so these have to get cleaned up and new races. I'll knock them out and we'll get the bearing and race numbers off of those. We'll get Rev HD seals. I need to inspect these, make sure these are still usable, make sure there's not too much slack in here. If there is, then I'll go to another rear end and I'll get a couple of these and put on here. And then I'll check the spindle to make sure it's okay. A little bit of wear here where the bearing was loose. This is a Stemco style sealing surface that drives on here, and then the seal is inside the hub, so this gives you a new sealing surface. We won't use that. We'll use probably a Rev HD setup, so we'll knock this off, and the Rev HD does something similar. Get our full inspection done on this side. Now we also have a bad ABS line wire that's cut right there. We'll have to decide if we're going to fix that or not as well. This side was worse. The outside nut was not tight. The flange was not bent over, but the inside one was so tight. Look at this. It was grinding on the inside of it. So weird. That's what all this is. Grindings from this. Unreal. You can see where it was rubbing on the inside there. On that seal surface right there. Not like it matters, I'm going to replace them anyways. see how bad this inside race is. Yeah, she's junk. Junk. Alright, this side is all apart now, so we are ready to order parts, except for one thing. I found something on the other side that I'm really unhappy about. See if you guys can spot it. That leaf spring's broke. You can see how this has an arch, and it seems to come up a little bit, then it flattens out, then it goes like this again. These springs are heavily worn, so I don't want to just replace the one spring, because that one spring is now working a lot harder because all the other ones are worn. So I'm going to see if I have another suspension or axle or what have you around that I can just swap in. And because these actually swap in pretty easy, they unbolt from the hanger right there. There's a pin right here and a pin right here, and then U-bolts. So we'll see what we can find. I dug this axle out from the poison ivy to use in something else. I need the axle, not the suspension. But I might be able to use that spring pack. Not the bottom, because it's got the center pin that goes through the older version instead of the bushing out front that bolts in horizontal. I have this rear end I took out of an F750. These springs are the same, and if you know anything about International, this International number here, it's because International made the chassis for the Ford F700s or 750s during the Blue Diamond series. So we can probably interchange that. Yeah, it might be okay, because this is the same style, bolt through the hanger. Wonder if I could just unbolt the hangers. It's a shame it's not a hydraulic brake axle. It's a 21060. I don't think that one's that big. It would be nice if I could just swap the axle housing, because it's kind of rusty. I don't know. Let me look at a couple other options. Here's another one, except I've already pulled all the brake parts off of it. This is an actual International 4300, just like what we're working on. Really what I should do is just drag this thing over to the house and swap the motor and transmission and everything into this one, because this truck, gotta watch out for wasps, is rust free and only has 100,000 miles on it. Nest up there. But this was what I was thinking, was swap it over to a nicer cab and chassis like this one. Look how nice the frame is compared to what we're dealing with. Man, I just don't have time to fool with that right now. This one obviously still needs all the back brakes, but that's okay. Everything's in much nicer condition, and this is 10-lug hub pilot. This whole truck is. Mine, blue rollback, is a 8-lug hub pilot, and it's just weird. I don't know. Maybe I need to just consider this. Maybe it's just time. What I should do probably is just put it on that F750. It runs and drives very well, and it's super clean. Rust-free cab. I'll just show you. I'm just going to show you. I'm just going to do it. See how nice the frame is here? It's got good tires on it. It's got air brakes. Nice fuel capacity. Other than the door panels off. Rust free down here. Good front clip. Good steer tires. It's in nice condition. This is a very, I have to do something with that battery box like all of them. This is an 09 F750. Now this one has 500,000 miles on the cluster, but the ECM and the motor shows 2 something. I can't remember what it is now. And this has engine brake. It's a 6.7 Cummins. It has cruise control. Again, air brakes. It's not air ride suspension, but I don't know. Maybe that's what I need to do. Put it on this truck. Quit messing around. I just really don't want a manual. I prefer an automatic. I guess I got some thinking to do. So this is another truck that I'm considering using, put my rollback on, and there'll be a video of it later. I've owned this truck for quite a while. It's a DT466 Allison automatic. It's air braked. It's a 33,000 GVW truck. It's in decent shape. It's got high miles on it, but it's got a lot of benefits that make me happy. The wheelbase is way too long. It's a 212 cab to axle, but it is an air ride suspension. And the biggest benefit to this particular truck is it's got a locking rear diff, which is very attractive. Aluminum inner and outer wheels. Frame's in decent shape. It'll clean up nice. The cab's okay, much better than what we got. Aluminum tank. Air ride driver's seat. We'll have to do a little repair to it. Air ride passenger seat. And another feature that is kind of rare. I mean, we see power windows and power locks sometimes, but we almost never see this. Keyless entry. So that'll be pretty attractive, and you know, we can diff lock and then we can dump the airbags. We may have to, that may be what that is. I'm not sure. I don't know if it has a dump valve. I didn't see one. But heated mirrors, their power, you know, this is one of the trucks that's in the running. It hasn't started in a while, and I tried to start it one time. It didn't start well, so that's kind of where we're at. But I got to make a decision because I need my rollback. I got a quote back from Alan at AMI, and it's just about what I thought. I figured it'd be $1,500, $2,000. Came in at $1,500. So yeah, it's right there. Anyways, I guess I'll make a decision, and when I do, I'll bring you guys along, and I guess we'll do something, whether it's take the bed off and put it on another truck or fix that truck. If I put it on this truck has high miles, but for the little amount of miles I go, it might be just fine. I don't know. You guys leave in the comments, tell me what you think. What would you do? This truck, the other truck, the other white one like this, take my motor and transmission out, put it in the other one, do the F750 or do this one? I don't know. You tell me, what would you do?